What's going on, Bulls Nation? Peck here. We've got a live CHGO Bulls podcast for you to kick off the week, reacting to the crazy weekend of NBA playoffs. Plus, today we begin our individual player evaluations for the 24-25 Bulls season, starting with the one and only Coby White. Next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. The sun is out. I'm Peck, Bulls _ Peck. That's Big Day Bow. Games are also out. Bow.
We're ready for that.
Bow. Will the Gottlieb. Some call him the GOAT. Will _ Gottlieb. Perfectly coiffed. And the queen of the controls, the one and only Katie Duffy. What up, Katie?
Hi, guys.
Happy Monday, everybody. Everybody have a good weekend?
I did. I just realized on Saturday that it was the first weekend off I've had since the season started. I didn't even realize that.
Oh yeah, because the first weekend of the Bulls off season, you were out in Vegas.
I was
doing
in
WrestleMania,
Vegas, doing stuff on the weekend. So.
And your friends were like, "Can you come hang out?" And you're like, "No, wait, actually I can.
Actually I can't, but I will not.
But I will
because
not
it's my first one.
My first one.
I'm sitting down right here.
How great does it feel to have a weekend to sit
Dude,
down?
I watched the movies. It's been a while since I watched the movie. I saw Gladiator 2 finally.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought Denzel was the movie. I thought he deserved the Oscar nomination and was robbed of it. Not Pedro, but his brother, who was the lead.
Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal.
Well, Paul Pascal. He was solid. I thought he was solid. It's like they crammed all this stuff into the movie and then got to the end and said, oh, crap, we got to have an ending. Because the ending went really fast and really sudden and immediate. So, but I thought overall, it's worth your time. Denzel, man, dude, damn. Again, everything he gets in, he just shines.
Denzel.
Man. Yeah, he just Denzels it. He Denzels it.
Othello on Broadway right now.
Yes.
I really want to go.
Kill it.
My folks saw it last week. I'm jealous.
Oh, I'm not. Because your folks are awesome and they deserve to see awesome
sure,
things.
yeah, but still, I am just jealous.
It's the highest grossing play of all time now.
For real?
Othello is the highest grossing play of all time, eclipsing Hamilton and Harry Potter was the leader before that, but the highest grossing.
That's crazy.
That's insane for Othello. That just shows you the power.
Classic.
Yeah,
but it also shows you the power of Denzel.
Yeah, it's correct, man.
Denzel and Shakespeare.
Just hand them the Tonys.
Together.
That's all. Hand them the Tonys.
Goat, good weekend?
Yeah, good weekend.
Calm, relaxing?
Good weekend. Lots of good basketball.
So much good basketball.
I did feel obviously, I really enjoy watching Bulls games, getting to talk about Bulls games, not take away from any of that. But watching some of these playoff games has given me a reminder of how much I love watching high-level basketball.
Bingo.
And real competitive playoff basketball. And just the drama of some of these games, the way they're coming down to the line. It's been awesome. And obviously then you have the other swing of emotions with Damian Lillard tearing his Achilles, which was devastating for him and for the Bucks. And that whole situation is just awful. But it's so fun to have that kind of basketball back.
NBA playoff drama, man.
It's so
in my
fun.
opinion, there is nothing like it.
It's nothing like it. It's the absolute best way to spend an entire day from 12 noon to about 9 o'clock at night, just watching playoff basketball.
These first rounds,
the
Saturdays
first
and
rounds
Sundays, where you get just 4 games back to back. Oh God, it's the best.
Especially the first weekend's really fun because you have the game 1, game 2 of all the playoff games. You're excited to be in it.
Yeah.
The second weekend, it's okay, the 4-0 sweeps are kind of out of it, and now it's really only the series that are tied 1-1 or 2-2, or it's a 2-1 and there's a huge game 4 coming up.
Right.
And so the drama, it just builds.
So just a quick recap, and then we can talk at least a couple of series that we found, their games over the weekend most interesting. On Saturday, Cavs cruise over the Heat. They're up 3-0, looking like a sweep. Thunder do sweep the Grizzlies, but to the Grizzlies' credit, they chopped into that deficit game by game. It was a 2-point loss. to the Thunder over the weekend, but they did get swept.
They did.
Warriors beat the Rockets. Big shots from Steph down the stretch. That game was sans Jimmy. Sounds like there was just a report earlier this afternoon. The Warriors are hopeful that Jimmy could be back by as soon as Game 4.
I'd sit him again.
I think he's supposed to play tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
They Warriors are up 2-1. Obviously, we'll put a pin in this. Nuggets, dramatic win over the Clippers. That series, the lone series, tied at 2 games apiece through 4 games across these first-round series.
What a game that was.
Yeah.
What a game.
Cow.
And then
Incredible.
Sunday, there were 4 games where the series was 2-1. 4 chances for teams to equalize. All 4 teams that were up 2-1 got another W to go up 3-1, including the controversial ending of Knicks Pistons. Foul, no foul.
It was a foul.
Pacers just demolished the Bucks. That of course,
was a
includes
sad one.
Dame's sad exit with what officially today was reported as a torn Achilles. Celtics handled the Magic to go up 3-1. Wolves narrowly beat
That was a
LeBron
great ending too. They
and
were
the
down by
Lakers.
12 or 14 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Came back.
Like, seriously.
Crazy comeback.
Drama at the end.
So that's
It's just the
all
best.
Sunday series are now 3-1 with Knicks, Wolves, Celtics, and Pacers leading. But so, I mean, do we want to touch on Nuggets Clippers for a second?
Sure.
Because that is the lone series tied 2-2. I thought that was one of the series that had the best chance of going 7 games before all of these first round playoff games started.
Sure.
Just real quick, Aaron Gordon's putback of the Jokic desperation heave 3. Correct that it counted? Incorrect that it counted?
Correct.
I agree.
It counted.
If it's that close on slow-mo instant replay,
Yeah.
let's all enjoy sports being sports.
Yeah. Like,
I've just never
it counted.
seen anything where because usually it's like you can see frame by frame the hand and the ball, like is the ball separated from the hand before the red thing goes off? And this was still connected to his hand, but through the rim. And I've just never seen
Yeah.
Yes.
what?
It was like trying to parse through different NBA rules of when is a shot clean because you get it out before the red light goes off and the clock is at zeros. And as you're saying, it's like his hands were still kind of on, his fingertips were flushing the ball, but the ball was through the hoop.
Yeah.
So it was like if the ball is through the hoop, doesn't matter that his fingers are touching it still.
Seriously. No, I thought it counted. I watched that replay like everyone did 1,000 times. And every time I watched the replay, I was like, no, it's not only just too close to call, but when you watch the replay, when it turns red, it doesn't look like it's touching his fingers, but then it kind of looked like it's touching his fingers, but then it doesn't look like it's touching his fingers. So I'm like, when it's like that, then you have to go with, what it is. He made the shot. They had the same instance happen in the Detroit game at the end of the third quarter when at the end of the half, when Tim Hardaway went for a dunk. And it looked like, he made it, but the clock went off. Why? Because that one was very still clearly on all 5 of his all 10 of his fingers.
Yeah.
And so that's an easier call to make. This one, man, it was just timed very perfectly. Shout out to Aaron Gordon for understanding dunks very, very well. And I mean, just great timing on it. You know what I mean? And all of that stuff. Like even an air ball looked like the perfect pass from a guy like Joker, man. So I thought it should have counted. I'm glad it did. Let's get to the next game.
It's crazy that the Clippers convincingly won Game 3. It was I think 117 to 80 something or whatever.
Yeah.
Games 1, 2, and 4 of that Clippers Nuggets series have been decided by a combined 7 points, including an overtime and a buzzer beater.
Fun stuff, man. Fun stuff. Both teams bringing their best. I love watching Kawhi. I forget how much I love watching him until he's back.
Yeah.
And my God, dog, like the mid-range game.
Screw playoff P. Playoff K.
Playoff K. Special K. Oh my God, dog. Like it's just when he's on, there aren't too many better than him when he is on his game. You already know what he brings defensively, but offensively, that in and out crossover that he does, that tap, step.
This is why I've always said about Patrick Williams, watch Kawhi and see the way he manipulates the ball while he's dribbling.
Yeah.
And that is what, I think that is the singular skill that takes him from great player to elite player.
That's a great point.
Because he can create his own shot wherever, whenever.
Wherever. Yeah.
And I think it really stems from his ball handling.
Yeah, and you can't play too close on him. You can't play too far back on him. None of that stuff. And it's because of that ball handling.
Yeah. And for just on that game, this series, like you mentioned, Matt, the one blowout, but this is turning into a classic first round series.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just so excited. I want it to go 7 games.
Yeah.
The only reason that it would have been great if that dunk didn't count is because we would have gotten overtime in that game.
Yeah.
But that's just such a memorable way to close out a game. I mean, this whole playoff first round has just been so much fun. I think this is has been my favorite series. I'm really excited about Houston and Golden State again tonight. But yeah, these two teams, just the way they play is such a contrast. You've got Jokic, Kawhi. You've just got like all these great characters in the modern NBA and in the history of the modern NBA. And the way that the Clippers were able to get back from down 22 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I was like, if this goes to overtime, they're going to win. And then it's 3-1. And so that was just like, that really gave the Nuggets life. And I think that extends what is and what will continue to be a really classic first round series.
Yeah. Really enjoying it.
Along with Aaron Gordon's dramatic dunk at the buzzer, the other big point of contention across the Saturday and Sunday games this weekend was the no call when Tim Hardaway Jr. is trying to take a game-winning three in the corner as the clock's winding down against the Knicks. No foul was called. The Knicks beat the Pistons 94-93 to take a 3-1 lead in that series. And Dave, Goat and I were just talking a little bit ago about like officials having a deciding impact on something with gigantic stakes.
I hate it.
If that foul is whistled and you go to the line, if you go 2 of 3 from the free throw line on 3 free throws, you win, and the series is tied 2-2.
Sure.
No foul is called, you lose, and you're down 3-1.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, before a last 2-minute report, next day usually is released, somebody from that officiating crew made an official statement that was like, yeah, we got that wrong. Should have been a foul. Which, like, God, if you are a Pistons fan right now, my heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
Because, like, that is just a brutal way to go down 3-1 in a series. As the underdog team, now you're going back to New York. You're going back to the Garden for Game 5, down 3-1 when the series could be tied, and you're feeling like something was robbed from us.
Yeah, and it's going to be rowdy at Madison Square Garden. It's going to be insane. Yeah, especially being a young team like that and losing in that kind of way kind of deflates you because it's a learning experience when you're this young. So you don't really have anything to hang your hat on to say, hey, this happened last time. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to come back this game and just be better and be a better team, this and that. No, they're experiencing all this pain and sorrow and sadness together. I'm very curious to see how they come out. And to see if they come out, with more fire, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that they're going to win, but if they come out competitive and just ready to fight, because that's what's gotten them, even in these close games this series. The Knicks have the clutch player of the year. I didn't expect them to win the series, but I did expect a fight from the Pistons, and that's exactly what you're getting in this one. But it was a clear foul. Like, just seeing it, watching it happen, you're like, oh, that's a foul. And to get it done to you at home, and the ref don't have your back there, it's like, come on, man. Like, it was a tough one for the Knicks. I won't give you my whole heart. I'll give you half of it because you are the Pistons.
Yeah.
But
Forrest within the comments just said, I never thought I'd feel for Pistons.
You get half of the heart because you don't want to see people get cheated like that. I love Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. Like, those guys I really enjoy, man. And
like you said, like, credit to that young team who made this gigantic 30-win leap in the regular season, giving the Knicks a good fight in this series. Like, it's been a tight series.
I think they've outplayed the Knicks in most of these games. Even some of the ones that they've lost. And
their first win came on the road, right?
Yeah. I think that this is a young team this is the start of their story, their like timeline of this young group.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of veterans that are playing key roles: Schroeder, Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley. This is a team that's going to be around for a while. And it's like one of those series that's like the initial kind of heartbreak in the playoffs. Things didn't go your way, you played well, but it's like the foundation, the building block of what I think is going to be a really long run for this team around Cade and Duren and Isaiah Stewart, who's been out the last couple of games, and Jaden Ivey, who hasn't even played. Like, they are going to be a very formidable team for the next handful of years. And this is like one of those series that's like the early heartbreak, and they have to like overcome that. So I think they could go out in the next game. I think they could also win one more, but like that really is tough.
But real quick, I do think they made a mistake not having Ausar Thompson in there in the fourth quarter on Jalen Brunson, because that's when Brunson went insane. Yeah. But I get it. Schroeder is scoring and those guys are scoring, but Thompson should have been in there.
All right. Well, we'll take a break real quick. The Lakers down 3-1. Lakers are frauds. I can't believe I picked them to win. Like, I've been saying all season the Lakers are frauds. Even after the Luka trade, they're frauds.
Anthony Edwards, bro, in Ascension.
Yeah.
Got a little Jordan-esque in him, bro, like for real.
Speaking of Ascension, does Coby White still have another level? We are going to talk about that next after the break as we break down his player evaluation grades for this Bulls season. Stay tuned. Hit the like! Today's CHGO Bulls brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment is never ordinary at Bet365. New customers right now can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. It's really easy to do. Just download the app, sign up, create an account. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Throw $10 in your account. Throw $20 in your account. We got a couple of NBA playoff games on deck tonight and more every day for the next 2 months. It's a beautiful thing. Pick your favorite matchup. Pick your favorite bet on that matchup. Put $5 on it. If you win, congratulations. If you don't, congratulations. Because either way, as soon as that first $5 bet is finalized, you're going to see $150 of bonus bets hit your account, win or lose. And with these NBA playoff games and the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 20 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download that app. And again, don't forget to use that promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. And here's the kicker. Those bonus bets you see in your account, all $150 worth, they can be used on almost anything on the Bet365 app. Spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older if you or someone you know has a gambling problem. Crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER and app only.
Rate.com. New sponsor alert. New sponsor alert. Rate.com, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
All right. If you yourself ever tried to buy a home, get a loan, or just deal with money stuff in general, I think that's pretty much all of us, you know it can be a lot. That's why we got to tell you about the Rate app. And it is seriously, ladies and gentlemen, a game changer. You can get pre-approved for a mortgage in minutes without the need to jump through a million hoops. I don't even like jumping through 3 of them. And if you're thinking about a home equity loan or a personal loan, you can secure one in under 15 days. That's not business days. It's 15 regular days. That is awesome right there. The Rate app helps you find the best homeowners and auto insurance based on what you actually need. The whole thing is powered by AI. Matt's not a fan of AI, but in this instance, he'll allow it. So it's smart and saves you time and money, and that's why he'll allow it. And something that is also an unexpected bonus. After you get through going through the Rate app, you might feel a little down and tired because you're searching and you got some money. Well, guess what? 800 free wellness videos, bow, right in your face. In your face. Yeah. Stuff like meditation, breathing exercises, stretching, basic tools to help you feel better mentally and physically. They're taking care of both. So if you're stressed out about a loan or your mortgage, seriously, just let the Rate app handle it, y'all. Once that's covered, you can go ahead and hit one of their free wellness videos and chill. It's the one app, that one-stop shop that helps you with both your wallet and your well-being. Who's doing that? Nobody. The Rate app today. Get it started, y'all. Download it. Use it. It'll help you out. The Rate app. Rate.com.
Is that's the same rate as the Sox Park?
It is correct.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I still call it Comiskey, but
because you're from Chicago.
yeah. I wonder if Grandpa Jerry gets all that money he needs to build himself a new park. If they will also be the ballpark brand name sponsor for that.
There you go. Mustache or no mustache, he's getting one in, baby. That's why he's my guy.
I don't care if Jerry gets his money for a new ballpark. If anything, I would hope he doesn't. Earn it.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah.
Speaking of earning things, guys, Coby White earned, I think, himself a lot more credit. He may not have earned himself a big old payday this summer when Priority 1A for AK and company is a Josh Giddey contract. But right around the corner from that, if Coby White continues to play the way he's playing, talk about somebody across the NBA who most outplayed their contract this season. Coby White is a name near the top of that list, I would say. So we're kicking off our individual player grades. We do this at the end of every Bulls season. And what I have liked to do now that we've been doing this for a few years is at the beginning of the season, we also do our Prove It episodes where player by player we go and say, this is what I want to see this player achieve this season. Might be something statistical. It might be something as far as awards and honors. And revisiting our Prove It's for each player from the beginning of the season to see whether or not they checked those boxes. And then get into their offensive and defensive grades. Then, of course, grading is not complete without a Meathead grade.
Oh, got to have it.
So, gentlemen, to journey back, at the beginning of this season, we all set some goals for Coby White, and to his credit, Goat and I asked some big things of him, and he crushed it.
Smash.
I asked Coby White to average 20 points per game for the first time in his career this season. He did that.
Done.
With that crazy late surge, he finishes the year at 20.4 points per game. I also asked him to have a career best mark of 60% or better true shooting percentage this season, after a couple of seasons where he was flirting between like 56, 57%. This season, 60.1 true shooting percentage. Just barely got there, but he got there. Goat also looked at true shooting percentage, but was a bit more honest in his ask of Coby. Just said, just give me 58 because that would still be an improvement. So obviously a check mark there. 24 or greater usage percentage. Again, what would be a career high since going back to his rookie year when the bad Bulls were like, Coby, go nuts, right?
Yeah.
And his usage percentage this year, 24.4.
It's a thing.
Another check mark. The one goal we set for him collectively that he did not meet was, Dave, you wanted to see Coby represent the Bulls and himself in any capacity at All-Star Weekend this year.
Yeah.
He did not.
Yeah, me and Mr. Green feel the same way. He's saying Coby needs to be an all-star. Like, yeah, I wanted him at that weekend, man, doing something. 3-point shooting, participating in the skills challenge, coming off the bench as a reserve, or something, wiping the floor. I wanted him doing anything, and I'm not disappointed that he didn't get there because Coby didn't truly kick it off until after the All-Star break, which is what he usually kind of does. But that's why I set that goal there, is because usually he gets off to a slow, kind of cool start and then kicks it into high gear later. I wanted that to change. But it's going to be, again, for me, that's still one of the goals for me going into next year for him, because this time he's the man. Coby White is the guy for the Chicago Bulls. They'll be looking towards him to score, to carry this team, and when they get to that fourth quarter, he'll have the ball in his hands, and they'll be looking for him to carry those guys to victory. So I think that same thing should be put on him again this season. It's got to be on you, Coby, man. You play like this, you get the accolades. So now I want you to get those accolades for the entire year, not just after the All-Star break. Let's start it off the entire season, man, letting everybody know that you are the man. The man!
The man! Bam! Goat, you with the usage percentage ask of Coby, obviously, I think much like his points per game scoring, really, he met those marks in the back half of the season post Zach LaVine, but his usage percentage that you wanted to see, he did get there.
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to see that was because I wanted to see him take on more responsibility, and he really did. Even before All-Star break, he was up from where he was last year. So last season, pre-All-Star break, he was at 23 usage. Post All-Star break, 22.5. So slightly above average, pretty good. But I wanted to see him get up to 24 because I think that's more of a sign of a guy who's like really driving offense and not just being, a secondary guy. I wanted him to be a primary guy.
The man.
And so first half of this year, 23.3. So above even what he did last year. But then in the second half, 26.5 usage. Ooh. I asked for 58 true shooting. He gave you 63.4. Oh. So he really took off in that second half of the year. Not only shooting the ball, he even went through a shooting slump from three, but continued to score at a really high level and efficiently because of his ability to get to the foul line, because of his ability to just finish around the rim, change of pace. I think the play style really helped him, but he leaned into it, and I think it brought the best out of him, which to his credit, turned into a really good basketball player. So I was very impressed with Coby this year, and I just think he's, even if he doesn't get, I've seen a lot of he needs to make another leap. Even if he doesn't take another leap, doing this, what he did in the second half for a whole season, I think would be incredible. I mean, I think he would be an all-star if he put up those kind of numbers for a full year.
I think his post all-star break numbers are definitely fringe all-star numbers. You're probably not going to be voted as a starter, but you could be a reserve selection all-star with those numbers, if you're averaging over 24 points a game across an entire season. So with that, let's dive into our grades. We'll start with what Coby did offensively this season. We've already touched on a couple of those highlights with his true shooting percentage, his career high 20.4 points per game. He also had a career best mark of 45.3 overall field goal percentage this year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you're still this is the first time he's been even a 45% shooter from the floor.
Yeah.
His shooting split was 45, 37, 90. 90.2 to be exact. Coby White had the 4th best free throw percentage in the NBA this season among qualified players.
Come on.
And did so while increasing his free throw attempt rate. As Coby was just talking about, Coby finding different ways to score.
Yeah.
He's always been a streaky three-point shooter who, when he's hot, he's hot. He's also been somebody now who has been getting to the rim and finishing at the rim better. But that free throw attempt rate and him, and we'll do our own grading session with Josh Giddey later this week probably. Also, getting to the line a lot more in the back half of the stretch of the season, as did Coby. Coby had a career-high free throw attempt rate this season of .274, which shattered his previous career high that he set last season, which was .215.
So that means basically on 27% of his field goal attempts, he's getting fouled.
Exactly.
Compared to 21% last year. And here's another stat for you. So first half of this year, when you still had Zach LaVine, when Coby was obviously starting and a primary guy, but not really like the featured piece, in 48 games before the All-Star break this year, he had 160 free throw attempts. Okay? So in the second half, in 25 games, so 48 games down to 25 games, he had 147. So 13 fewer free throw attempts in 23 fewer games, almost double the minutes in the first half. And that just shows you how much he was getting to the line, how active he was as a driver. And again, that is what separates the good players from the great players in this league, is the ability to create offense efficiently. And the number one way to do that is drawing fouls.
That's impressive, man. Like Coby, in doing it, and Matt, when he cut the hair off, how upset I was about that, because for me, that took away from the fouls. It really took away from it, man. But you see the hair is back, and he is using it to his advantage. And it's not just the way, it's the way he's drawing these fouls, which is more impressive to me. Is you can tell he's been sitting at the feet of Chris Paul, learning how to get that contact, and not only get it, but to continue through his shot. And continue getting that layup. Like we talked about it many times on this show, how when he gets to the lane, how tight his handle has been, and how he slowed down and allowed himself to get to the rim and score with either hand. He's also now figuring out how to draw that contact all at the same time. And the hair is a part of it.
Yeah.
But, man, it is impressive to watch. And he's doing it now when he's taking three-point shots too. Because you remember when Coby was the guy fouling three-point shooters more often than not.
Yeah.
That thing has stopped, and you're watching Coby now be that guy who's baiting guys into fouling him while he's taking those shots. Just an all-around super part of his growth, because that is what extends your points per game, extra 5 points. That'll get you from 25 to 30. Getting you to the foul line, and Coby is definitely learning that, and we saw it this season.
And the other thing that we've talked about with Coby is, as you were just saying, Dave, creating your own shots in a variety of ways, as opposed to at other times in his NBA career, because of different teammates and what the Bulls are trying to do offensively, he was, at times forced into more of a catch and shoot threat role.
Yes.
But now, as Goat was talking about, the usage percentage steering more of the Bulls offense. Another thing that I was looking at, I looked at it last season and liked what I saw when I'm talking about the percentage of Coby's three-point shots, as you were just talking about, assisted versus three-point shots that he creates and makes for himself. So 2 seasons ago, 96% of Coby's made threes came on assists. That dropped last season to 83%.
Beautiful.
This season, it fell even further to just 76%. Coby, with his step backs, with his improved ball handling, and just his pull-up in transition, willingness and confidence, his made threes that he creates for himself is turning into a much bigger piece of his offensive pie.
That's key. And he's going to need all of that going into next season, because as I said, it is on him going into next season. He will be number one option, be number one on the whiteboard when teams come in to play. They'll be looking at you, Coby White.
So with that, we can knock out a quick fish saying Coby won a game with his hair on a foul call. That Toronto Raptors game.
It happened. It happened,
wild.
And the Knicks game.
Oh, my gosh, that's true. We'll knock out a couple more ads on the other side. We will dive into our official offensive grades for Coby, and then we will talk defense. Plus, Meathead still ahead. Hit the like button. We're going to need some likes if we want a tank spin today. I don't know if we're going to get there, Katie. Hit the like.
She don't believe in y'all.
Don't believe it.
I do.
You do?
Yeah. I just think you need some Sunnyside. Sunnyside! That's what you need.
Ooh.
Sunnyside cannabis dispensary. is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality hydroponics in the city. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer, spring, winter, and your fall. It's your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Sunnyside is Illinois' favorite dispensary with locations in the city, shout out Wrigleyville and River North, all the way out to the suburbs, shout out Champaign and South Beloit, and the many more that are out there. And if you're starting out, Sunnyside has expert guidance on brands that we know that you'll love, like Good News, Peck's fave, and Mindy's. And if you're a pro, they've got you covered with over 100 strains on the menu, and the new ones added every single day. Because we know you love that Cresco, we know you'll love those Floricals, and we know you love the incredible quality and consistent products. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. I got to say it slow just so you can hear how awesome the deal is. Enter the promo code HICHGO at the checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 and over, or Illinois Med Card holders.
Mid-card holders. Hey, did you guys know that the Cubs are heading up to Milwaukee soon?
What?
That's right. Today's show brought to you by Potawatomi Casino.
Potawatomi.
The Cubs are going to Milwaukee, and you could be there too. Kick off your summer right with the CHGO Cubs crew. Cody, Luke, and Corey are taking the party north of the border for that border battle with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Boo.
Someone make sure Braggs doesn't go.
I was just about to say that.
Because the poor man tore 2 ACLs the last time he tried to go to a sporting event in that evil state of Wisconsin. It's all going down Saturday, May 3rd at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel in Milwaukee. What's included if you get yourself a ticket to this amazing CHGO Cubs event? Exclusive pregame party in a private room at Potawatomi Casino, a live CHGO Cubs show, hang with the Cubs crew, talk baseball, enjoy the golden, fabulous vibes, a buffet lunch, and a drink ticket to get the good times rolling. Plus, here's another bonus. If you are 21 and older, you will get $100 in casino play with a Potawatomi Rewards card. So what are you waiting for? Grab a ticket and sit with the Cubs crew in the lower outfield on the Cubs side, of course. Make it a weekend at a one-night hotel stay at Potawatomi for Saturday night. Tickets and more info available at allchgo.com/event. And these tickets will go fast. Do not sleep on it. Get your ticket now. I was just talking to our Cubs pal Cody at the office earlier today saying they've already sold 20-some. And seats are limited. So grab yours. It'll be a good time. Rolling along. Rolling along.
That's what we do.
All right, guys. We're
today.
talking Coby White. Player grades for the 24-25 season. Let's dive into what we gave our offensive grades for Coby. Katie, if you have that grades graphic to start with. Wow. Okay. So A's across the board with an A- from GOAT. I will just kick things off here by saying I considered an A- for Coby because of something that I did not set for him as a goal this season, but have set for him in seasons past, which he still has not achieved, which is be a 40% three-point shooter for a full season.
Okay.
As far as what we want Coby White to be as an offensive weapon on this team, he's been a streaky shooter his entire NBA career. I've always wanted him to outgrow the streakiness and just be a 40% three-point shooter.
Streaky.
It's a thing that is not easy to do at the NBA level, but plenty of guys do it.
Yeah.
And on top of all of the strides we've seen from other Bulls players improving their shot form and their efficiency behind the arc, I've always thought with Coby that is achievable. I decided not to end up giving him the minus on the A because of that reason, because he did, again, increase his volume of three-point shooting this season. He was at 7 per game last year. He was just shy of 8 per game this year, and he was at 37.5% this year. He kept it at 37% this year. I'm not going to nitpick and give him an A- when so many other things he did well offensively for this team, especially on the back. He was Offensive Player of the Week multiple times. He was an Offensive Player of the Month. He was a 20 points per game scorer. He increased his efficiency and his frequency of getting to the free throw line. All of the offensive performances that Coby gave us down the stretch of this season that made me say, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, he still hasn't proven he can be a 40% three-point shooter for a full season. To me, that is not enough to give him an A-, because an A is an A. And I think offensively, Coby had an A season.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And that's kind of was my reasoning is why I didn't give him a minus. And also last year, I gave him an A-. And I'm like, okay, last year, did he improve on that? I think he did. I think he definitely improved. So I can't give him the same grade coming into this season. I mean, that was the big one for me, Matt, was getting back-to-back Eastern Conference Players of the Week and then winning Eastern Conference Player of the Month. We ain't seen that since DeMar. And so Coby doing it is not something people expected from it either. So watching him go out there and then have those 30-point straight games he was having, and then it was 35. You know, like he was just continuing to score and carry this team on the scoring end for so many games down the stretch. Like I didn't see why he didn't deserve an A for it. He did what he does all the time. He has a okay first half where he still balls out, but sometimes, you know, he's sluggish a little bit. You mentioned the three-point shooting that he was struggling with, but he still found his way. And then in the second half, when everything clicked together, you saw what this kind of player can be. So I feel like, and his handles also got so much better. And the fact that he was drawing fouls got so much better. All of that stuff on the offensive end, he truly, truly improved on. So I felt like he deserved to have that minus removed off of that. Not an A+, but definitely an A for offense with what he did out there on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I totally hear you guys, but I guess, yeah, haters gotta hate. So to me, it was just like the first half of the season for him and really 2/3, the first 45 games was like B+ play for me. It was 42.7% from the field, 37 on threes, 18, 3, and 4.5. That's very good.
Yeah.
That's a very good player. Wasn't quite up to the numbers that he even put up the year before. But understanding that Zach was still there, he was back in the fold. The offense was a little bit different now. Vooch was playing much better, taking a little bit more off of his plate. And then obviously the second half of the year was A+ or A, like high A, right? So if he had had the second half for the full year, it would be an easy A+.
Sure.
But I just felt like it leaves me wanting a little bit more and to see if he can go through a full season and putting up that kind of production.
Sure.
And I don't think that that's impossible by any means. I think he's very capable of doing that. In fact, I expect him to do that next year, and I think that raises the bar for him. So that is what it is. But to me, it was the fact that it was only 25 games. It was an incredible 25-game stretch for him. And it really was like A+ caliber play. But just the fact that it wasn't the entire season, I felt like I didn't want to give him, I didn't want to treat it as if he had played that well for the whole season.
No,
yeah, I think that's fair.
I hear you. And I think the difference is that's kind of how he does all the time. You know, he starts off a little slow and then turns it on, you know, in that second half of the season.
And that's kind of what I mean about like expectations is like now Coby's the guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's the man.
He can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Or the Bulls are just not going to be very good, right?
Correct.
Like that's a lot to ask him. It's maybe an unfair ask, but like that's what he needs to be for this team.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to continue to, as he continues to ascend, to keep raising the bar with him because he's earned that. He's blown through every expectation that we have had of him.
Yeah.
And so I'm over saying he can't get any better. I'm going to say, all right, keep going. Let's see what you can do. And because you played really well and not fantastic for the first 45 games.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just,
no, 100%.
I think we're at a point where we need to keep asking for more of him because that's what this team needs.
Yes. Yes. Everything what he said.
Yes.
I like that.
Just a few other notes on Coby's offensive game and his shot profile that I did like this season. His percentage of total field goal attempts taken at the rim, aka 0 to 3 feet, did actually dip a bit from last season when it was 25% of his total shots to 22.5% of his total shots this season. So I don't love that dip because we love when Coby's aggressive and attacking the rim. Sure. But that could also, if you factor in, those are getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think that would not account for field goal attempts.
Meanwhile, his percentage of total field goal attempts that came behind the arc increased from 46% last season to 52% this season. His sort of in the paint and floater range, 3 to 10 feet, stayed almost exactly where it was at 15% and change. The two areas of the floor where he took a few shots away this season is that mid to deep mid-range game.
Yeah.
He took 8.5% of his total shots from 10 to 16 feet last season. That fell to 6% this season. And from 16 feet to the 3-point line, that was 5% last season, 4.3% this season. So that mid-range to deep mid-range area that most lethal offensive players, other than the lone exceptions, the DeMars, the SGAs, are eliminating, Coby has taken those shots even further out of his game.
But I kind of like for him maintaining a little bit of usage and field goal attempts in that shorter mid-range area, because when you're at a point where, like, obviously from a mathematical standpoint, you want to eliminate those shots. But when you're at a point where it's like drives, free throws, and layups take up the primary chunk of your offensive shot profile, to have that as a counter where it's still a small portion and you've proven that you can make those shots, which he can. Like, he had that, that turnaround fadeaway going for him this year and last year too. But like, I really like that as like a counter to the getting all the way downhill and drawing fouls, like the pullback, the step backs in that range. I think for him, that's a good shot. When you're a high usage player who can make them, and so much of the offense is already allotted to the other stuff, like, I think that's a valuable tool to have for him.
Absolutely. Like, if the defense is going to give him that space, take those shots.
Because he's at a point where he's now earned the ability to take what the defense gives him, as opposed to take the best shot that's available to you. Like, because he's creating so much, that now becomes a better shot for him.
And punish them for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. So with that, let's shift to Coby's defense this season. Obviously, as far as the value he's bringing this team, it is mostly about what he's doing on offense. It's sort of, much like Josh Giddey or countless other NBA players. It's like, can what you bring the team and value-wise offensively be enough to be like, okay, well, like, if you're a passable defender, good enough. It's like, we saw Coby get hunted a lot last season defensively. The Bulls were a better defensive team last season than they were this season. And I think, like, the Bulls just had a lot of huntable guys this season. So I don't think Coby's defense, like, stuck out like a worse sore thumb than any of his particular teammates across the board, not named Lonzo Ball for the 30-something games that he played. Couple of defensive statistic points of note for Coby. He did have a career high of 0.9 steals per game this season. If you extrapolate that, in 74 games played this season and fewer minutes per game than last season, he had 69 total steals. He only had 53 total steals last season. So doing a little bit more work there. 1.3 steal percentage, which was just shy of his career high mark in 22-23 when he had a 1.5 steal percentage. Defensive rating, not great. 113.9, but again, look across the entire Bulls roster this season, you're going to see a lot of bad defensive ratings. One area where I did knock him a bit is that he got much better last season at drawing offensive fouls. That went out the window this year. He doubled his offensive fouls drawn from 2 seasons ago to last season, from 24 to 50. He drew 50 offensive fouls last year. Obviously, a lot of that is just fighting his way through screens and drawing illegal screens, which count as drawing offensive fouls. We know as a team, the Bulls took, 10 charges in the lane this year? So, but even still, knowing that, Coby's offensive fouls drawn fell from 50 last year to just 15 this year. Wasn't getting those hair foul calls, fighting over screens the way he was getting them on offense. So I think I gave Coby a C- defensively. Katie, if you want to put the graphic back up. Just like, we know that that's not who Coby is as a player. That's not where his best value is on the floor. It's just like, can you be locked in and giving enough effort and not get so cooked that you are your opponent's 1A option of who are we hunting on a nightly basis kind of player?
And I think that's why I ended up giving him a B-. Again, last year I gave him a C. And last year, you mentioned the defensive rating of 113. It's not spectacular. Last year, his rating was 115. So he did a little bit better this season, even though not drawing the charges or anything like that. But the best compliment I can give him is I wasn't out here pointing it out, just how egregious his defense was. And I wasn't like, oh, my God, look at that. That's wrong. No, like, I thought that Coby did a better job about knowing where he needed to be on the floor and knowing the actual defense that was being run by the team. I didn't see him get lost a lot when he was out there on the floor. So that's the reason I ended up giving him a B-. I felt like it was just a slight bit better. If there was a C grade, like, underneath that B-, I would have gave him that grade right there. Like a C- minus or something.
C++?
Yeah. So, yes. If I could have given that, I probably should have gave him that right there. but I knew what he did was a little bit better than what he showed us last season, and that's why he ended up with a B- for me.
Yeah, statistically he did not grade out well at all. He was the Bulls were almost 3 points per 100 possessions better with him off the court defensively. So they were a better defensive team by a pretty significant margin when he was off the court. His defensive EPM, which is kind of like the main all-in-one metric that people are using right now to evaluate guys, he was minus 1.4, which is really damaging. It's the 9th percentile in the league. 8th percentile in the league. So, and it was actually so damaging that even his offense was not enough. It was a plus 1.2 offensive EPM. So he graded out as a net negative minus 0.2 because he graded out so poor. I don't want to say he was so bad, but he graded out so poorly that even his offense wasn't enough to
overcome
for that.
the net positive offense. Yeah.
ESPN has a similar metric called net points, and he was the 4th worst defender in the entire league, behind or in front of only Trae Young, Jalen Brunson, and Colin Sexton. So, look, some of this is
score first guards.
Some of this is smaller score first guards who shoulder a ton of offensive responsibility, who perform, who play big minutes on poor defensive teams, who are kind of the ones that people pick on. And I think inherently it's just hard to grade out well when you're not blocking a lot of shots and when you're not getting a lot of steals and when you're not a part of a really good defense. So I don't put too much weight on this. Otherwise I would have given him an F.
But, it's graded based on expectations.
Yeah.
Based on expectations a little bit, but also what is his role? Like him being an off guard, it's like, it's not that big a deal if you're a poor defender. If you're the primary point of attack defender and you're bad, that hurts your defense way more. If Alex Caruso was terrible defensively and his role was to be the number 1 point of attack defender on the Bulls last year, they would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Right? If your center can't protect the paint at all or take away the rim at all, it's going to hurt your team a lot more. So I'm less concerned about that from a statistical or like all-in-one stat perspective. I do think he needs to continue to get better there, but I give him a little bit more grace because he has such a big offensive responsibility. And frankly, the Bulls are just not a good defensive team. And I think his ability to perform is stunted by the fact that no matter whether he's on the court or not, the Bulls defense is going to suffer. So all that to say, it's certainly not his strong suit. And I think this was a down year even for him defensively compared to maybe 2 years ago when he started to really ramp up on that end and start to perform better. But I do think he has a lot of room to grow. He's still big. He's still physical. He's 6'5". Like he has tools to be able to defend at a higher level than this. And I think he can. And I think if the Bulls get to a point where they're playing meaningful basketball, this kind of stuff will really expose itself. And we will find out, is he better than this or not? It didn't really affect the Bulls this season because they just never made it to that point.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is an area where, look, you can have poor defensive players on your roster. It's really tough when you have 4 or 5 guys in the starting lineup that are all poor defenders. So I don't want to hurt any, individually. Yes, he could get better. He can, perform better. The stats could be better, whatever it may be. But I don't want to put any additional blame on him for this because of the context around it.
So what do you think he did improve on though defensively this season as opposed to previous seasons?
That's what I'm saying. I don't really feel like he improved. I feel like
it was just across the board
because he had so much more responsibility on the offensive end. I think it was hard to exert that kind of effort on the defensive end. I think he has gotten a lot better in terms of using his physicality. Even in those last couple of games, you saw him ramp it up a little bit more. We had like a block a game over the last 3. So I know it's in there, but it's just asking so much to have to be the 26 usage guy, 27 usage guy, which he was for the second half of the year, and also now be a real effective primary stopper. It's a really hard thing for guys to take on both of those roles.
For me, that's why I thought the improvement was just within what was going on the floor. Like I remember those seasons where he did not look like he knew what was happening defensively on the floor. And I didn't have that to say about him at all.
But I feel like he made that jump like a year or 2 ago. Like I think he's gotten better since his rookie year, but I don't think he's gotten much better since last year or the year before. I don't want to say like he hasn't gotten better at all. Like his like scheme awareness and like he executed, I think, his role a lot, but it's just, that's a lot to ask somebody.
Yeah.
And I would rather have him be a great offensive player than a great defensive player.
And losing Caruso, like you feel like he put that on himself because of that?
I think the team just had no one to be. I mean, Io was out, Lonzo
Right.
was out, Caruso was
Our
out.
guy
What are you
Fish in the
supposed to do?
comments said, Kobe had to take harder defensive covers with Giddey out there, so he had nowhere to hide. I'm not going to take that bait and make it all about Josh Giddey as why Kobe wasn't better defensively this season. I love the play, but no. I think it's about like lots of factors. Nobody had anywhere to hide, and as Go just mentioned, you lose Lonzo, your best defensive player. You lose Io, another one of your at least quality on-ball defenders, perimeter defenders. And it's like nobody had anywhere to hide. This was a bad defensive team across the board. Rob asking, did the Bulls play more zone this year? Does that hide some of Kobe's deficiencies on D? Did you look at the full last season to this season numbers on that, Goat? I know that we talked about down the stretch of this season, they really started going to zone more frequently than at the beginning of the season.
They did.
But, I don't know if Kobe more so than any of his teammates benefited from that when the Bulls did throw some zone
the
looks.
Bulls defense was, I believe, 7th in the league.
Correct.
After All-Star break. So to a certain extent, yes, they ran zone on only 4.7% of their total possessions this year. So pretty small amount.
Right.
I would venture to guess that most of those were after All-Star break.
Yeah, the post-All-Star splits would be higher.
And they allowed 1.08 points per shot. Points per possession on those. So not very good. That was 20th percentile. But not that much different from their man defense, which was 1.01. So, it's the difference between like a 101 offensive rating and a 108. Neither are very good, but
it's an improvement.
All right. Well, with that, gentlemen, let's move to the fun part of giving out grades.
Mm-hmm.
The Meathead grades. If you're new here, this is where whatever area we want to go, if it's other element to this player's game, much like we have Goon of the Night on wins, Meathead grades are whatever you want them to be. And usually there's some collection of letters or numbers that we try to guess because we don't know what each other's Meathead grades are. Oh, my goodness. Dave has lots of letters in his.
Really. I like that you threw a question mark in yours. That's
Yep. Mine features a question mark. Defafs.
Yeah, those looks like a disease.
All right, let's start with goats.
If you
For those of
suffer from
listening on the
DIFAFS.
pod, DIFAFS.
Did I wait? Could you put that back, Katie, please? Do I feel
Did
as
I forget? Well, there's no question mark.
Yeah, there's no question mark.
Yeah, true.
There could be.
Is it a question?
no, it's not.
I
It's
like
not
the
a question,
FAF
okay.
is really messing with me because I can only think about like FAO right now, FAFO right now. Leap around and find out, but I don't think that's what it is.
Go. What you got, man?
Do it for a full season.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
Dude,
There
I
it
like
is.
that.
That's it.
He was awesome. Obviously we had the defense conversation. I'm not too concerned about that. He was incredible in the second half of the year. I want to see him do it for a whole year.
That's
I
fair.
like that, and my grade actually is somewhat similar
I figured we would all have
to yours.
be in the same neighborhood.
Mhm.
Yeah. IMCPC question mark?
I'm Rob Burgundy.
Man, I must.
I'll give you a hint that might make it easier.
Okay.
Both C's are Kobe.
Okay. Kobe. Pay Kobe?
Something pay Kobe.
Uh,
Pay Kobe.
Not pay.
Past?
Playoff Kobe?
Nope.
Kobe.
Think back to the
Pays
clue
Kobe?
that I said where Goat's grade was about Kobe doing things for a part of a season. Mine is along similar lines.
I don't know.
Is March Kobe peak Kobe?
Ooh.
I
So,
wouldn't guess that.
you were
Would've
talking
been-
about his pre and post All-Star split numbers, which of course looked great for Kobe. But that month of March in particular, Dave, talking about the accolades, the Player of the Week award 2 times, winning Player of the Month in the Eastern Conference that
deal.
month.
Yeah.
Plenty of not only the streak of 20 plus point consecutive games, but the 30-point games on top of that, the 35-point games on top of that.
Yeah.
We keep asking ourselves, how much better can Coby White be?
Yeah.
As a part of a larger conversation of like how much better can this new Bulls core be?
Yeah.
Can they be realistically a contender in this league if Coby White is your best player, or if Josh Giddey and Coby White are your 2 best players? So the version of Coby White we saw in March when the Bulls were either bumslaying or winning teams resting their key guys looks great statistically.
Sure.
Is there another level of Coby that he can be at for an entire season, as Goat was saying, that is as good as or better than the version of Coby White we saw in March? Because if the answer to that question is no, the version of Coby we saw the month of March this season is the best NBA version of Coby we will ever see, then that is no knock on Coby White, but it is a knock on the Bulls front office and their team building abilities, because that being your best player ain't getting you very far. Might get you back to the 6th seed, but it ain't getting you very far. And that's what this is all about.
7 seed. Yeah, that's what it is. Katie, mine, please. Mine is simple.
Is the first letter a U?
Yes.
Like, okay, you're darn right. That's where I'm at right now.
You're darn right. It's Coby M.
Coby M. Effin White.
It's you damn right.
You damn right.
It's Coby M. Effin White. All right? That dude, you know I love Coby, man.
Yeah.
And I've said this many a times. Like, every time I've seen him have an obstacle, I've watched him overcome it. Every single year. And now it was just about to be another one for him now, because he's about to be the guy for the Chicago Bulls. Now I'm like, yeah, you're Coby M. Effin White. This is what you do. You ball out. Yeah, you do it sometimes in the second half because it's a slump. But guess what? This time is different, because now there will be no Zach LaVine there in that first half of the season. You won't have to defer to anybody else. It will be on you. We have not seen that version of Coby White at all in his career here. No, it was either Zach or it was DeMar. It was someone else that was ahead of him. The only time, Matt, that we truly saw him as the guy was twice. Once was his rookie season when we watched him drop 30, and it was this year in the second half after they made those trades in February. How did he look when they got that together after those trades? He looked like Coby M. Effin White. That's how he looked. So now coming into this season will be his very first time being that guy. And I think he's going to thrive in that and remind people who he is. It's Alec Jacoby White. You damn right. It's Coby M. Effin White. Oh, yeah, it rhymed on purpose.
It did.
And look, for the most part, I agree. Like, when I take a question about Coby that I have, like, how good can he be? How much better can he get? And then he proves me and other doubters, if you want to call them doubters, wrong often. He said the same thing in his exit interview.
Skeptics, I would say.
Yeah, skeptics.
More skeptics.
He said, I've been proving people wrong my whole life. And he clearly has that kind of chip on his shoulder, which I love as a Bulls fan. You want your players to have that kind of chip on their shoulder.
All kinds of
but
chips.
To me, it's like, we're talking about Coby. His breakout year was last year, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
Finishing a close second in most improved player award, 19 points per game and change. He got better this year.
He did.
When you're talking about, yes, he was a 20 points per game scorer for a full season for the first time in his career, and he did it even more efficiently. He got to the free throw line more and shot 90% at the line. Like, there are lots of little stats you can find to say Coby White did get better this year compared to last year. But in a lot of ways, the improvement is what I would describe as marginal improvement. This was not some explosion of, wow, the Bulls found the star player out of nowhere because he put the work in and he dominated in a way that we haven't seen him dominate on an NBA court before. So that's, I think, the question with Coby. It's not a knock on Coby at all. Again, it is, if these are the marginal improvements we can expect to see and stop doubting to see, how much better are the Bulls around Coby? If these marginal improvements, as we go from year 5 to year 6, now year 6 to year 7.
Correct.
How much more room is there between where Coby is now and the ceiling? I think that's a fascinating question that can determine a lot of things for how good of a team the Bulls could be if Coby is still here for many years to come.
But here's the thing that I think, and this plays into my overall grade, which I gave him an A, which was above even the A- offensively, or obviously the combination of whatever breakdown that was.
Yeah.
Like, to me, maybe it's ambitious to say this, but if what Coby did in the last part of this year was real, that if that was like the real Coby and what we can see do it for a full season, like, the Bulls won a ton of games, like, playing that style with him as the leader like that. Like he has shown to me, there's a difference between like, maybe if you get one more jump, like then he can be that guy. But it's like, I feel like we already kind of saw him do that. Like this was the first time where it's been an extended run of him playing like that dude, being that dude, and the Bulls playing well. And that is something that we cannot say about previous seasons, even when Zach was here. Like as well as Zach played at times, they never won like this. They never had a run like this, whereas 15-5 and he was the best player and it was pre-DeMar, pre-Vooch, whatever. Like if I have my questions about like, is this style sustainable in the playoffs? But like if Coby plays like this, they are in really good shape because he has already proven that he can be the number one guy. And I think they need to continue to add talent. I think they have a lot of questions to answer, but this run for me, not only from an on-court perspective, I also wanted to acknowledge his leadership and his growth as like the franchise pillar internally.
Correct.
Factoring into your overall grade.
Factoring into my overall grade.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have seen this guy be the best player on a team that won 15 out of 20 games and average almost 30 a game for a month, like that's a lot to ask somebody to do for a whole season. But if you can do that, then that answers a lot of questions about how do you find that guy? Because I think that's it.
And it's not just what I also like. It's not just us taking notice. It was also the NBA taking notice. It was
the league.
Yeah.
The whole league took notice of it by rewarding him with those back-to-back awards and then the award for the entire month. So when that is happening to you as a player and you're that guy, that means all eyes are going to continue to be on you. And we expect you to shine even brighter next season. That's what that means.
That is true. That's going to do it for those of you watching on our various streaming services like Samsung TV Plus and Roku and even Comcast Xfinity. If you want the bonus coverage, just head on over to allchgo.com.
Keep it rolling.
So as we wrap up here, Goat, you said that you gave Coby a solid, sturdy A for his overall grade, even better than his A- for offense. Dave, where do we have you? An A-. Oh man, I was the harshest grader for the overall grade.
Who's the hater now?
I'm a hater. I'm not picky. I'm not just a Josh Giddey hater. I'm also a Coby White hater. My goodness.
He deserved it. I couldn't give him a solid A. I didn't feel like it was a solid A, but I felt like it was an A had to be in that.
Yeah.
Like for some kind of way. He was too good.
I gave him the full A offensively. I talked earlier about how I almost gave him an A- because, hey, still not a 40% shooter. Come on, man. Behind the arc. I went with the overall grade taking a bit of a hit because I agree with Goat. I don't think we saw Coby become a better defensive player in any noticeable way this season. And, you know, he got better, but how much better? And a B+ is a good grade. Again, and then the other thing, you know, that Goat was talking about, show me for a full season.
I feel that.
Show me for a full season that you can be that guy.
Prove him again, Coby.
But I do I think it's valid for Goat to weigh into his overall grade and that grade being an A. Everything that Coby meant to this team in a leadership role this season, a vocal leadership role, and always it seemed reflecting inward when things were not going well for the team, and showering praise on teammates when things were going well instead of accepting credit himself.
Being the guy that the group of 15 media members come up to with their recorders and cameras, stick it in your face after you lose by 10 or 15 or whatever in the play-in game. Like, that is not a fun part of your responsibilities as your job. But that's what Coby did every single day. He was like, you know, he'd be frustrated after a loss and he would be happy after a win. But like, he really, I think the biggest step forward that he took this year was in his leadership and his role as kind of the next face of the franchise. And after what happened last year with Zach, and obviously Zach getting traded this year, like and that's why I don't think they're going to trade him, because he stepped into that and really, I don't know, to me that was where he showed the most growth.
And always liked about him is you don't have to guess where he is emotionally. He'll tell you. He'll show it. He has no problem doing that. If it's going great, you're going to know it. If it's not going great, you're going to know it. And he's very honest in that way. And that stuff I'm sure you appreciate, you know, as a person that's covering the athlete, that gives you the honest truth about how they're feeling about any situation, because it makes it better just for the player and for the person observing and writing about him. So, yeah, that leadership role is huge in what he's doing. And you're right, Matt, when it sprays out to the other players, I want to see how that affects him, as you guys are saying, for a whole season. When he is being that guy, I want to see how it affects the other guys around him.
Right.
Younger guys like Modest, younger guys like Julian. I know how it affects Dalen. So I really want to see how those guys are affected by the Coby White leadership.
Right. Much like Giddey was talking about in his exit interview just like last week about not wanting to come in and step on any toes as the new guy here and taking the first half of the season to kind of feel that out, and he wasn't super comfortable in his role. And not that Coby arrived via trade last offseason, but in similar ways, I think, because of the lingering presence of Zach LaVine, in a slightly different but also similar way, Coby White probably felt like that at the beginning of the season. Plus the newcomer, Josh Giddey. And what's this dude's role? Yeah. Zach's still here. Vooch's still here. What's my role? And I think once the Zach trade happened, and simultaneous almost to that, the ability to take a breath at the All-Star break, a lot of roles became clear. Yeah. And it helps Coby, and it helped a lot of guys on this team.
That's what they do.
Before we get out of here real quick, it looks like we got another name change of our favorite Office fan in the comments. Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Race for the Cure.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Called the Fun Run Race for the Cure?
Yeah.
With a super chat saying, as I sit here, legs, butt, back, and sore, from 187 miles cycling,
he told us on Friday.
Rethink your life choices. Yeah. Over the weekend, I think I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious and could say I need a tank spin for this offseason episode. Well, I'm sorry, Michael Scott's Fun Run.
The people let you down.
I don't think we got enough likes today, Katie. No?
I even lowered it to 50, and we didn't
Can we
get
make
there.
an exception for somebody who who rode 187 miles over the weekend?
No.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
And credit to you for biking those miles.
Yeah.
Sorry,
man.
I think you are
I didn't even like the fact she loaded to 50. She's being nice to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cut it in half.
Not enough likes, and also, why the hell are you biking that many miles?
Keep doing your thing.
Also, I hope,
I'm proud of you.
I hope you are on a trail of some kind. Hot take, watch out, don't care. Cyclists, get off my road while I am driving.
Ignore,
okay?
you know what?
Get off of my freaking road.
Shout out to you. That's impressive. Matt does not speak for us on these matters. Shout out to you.
Yeah, we need bike lanes.
Go bike through a forest. So that's going to do it for today's show. We'll be right back tomorrow, same time, same place. 4 p.m. Central Time with a live show. We'll continue doling out some grades, react to any craziness that happens in the NBA playoffs tonight. Don't forget, sign up for that Bet365 account. Throw some $5 bets on tonight's action, and we will be right back tomorrow. See you then. Have a great night. Go, Will_Golly. Read us stuff, ALLCITY.com. Big day, bow. BWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO Bulls. Queen of the Controls, the one and only KW. See you very good.
Pew. Peace.
Pew, pew, pew.
We all silly like the mayor.